Planning is the cornerstone of achieving all of your goals and staying organized. So, with this new year that has just arrived, it's 2025, it is time to make sure that your planner system is going to be able to help you manage your time, track your progress, and maintain balance in all aspects of your life. So, whether you're a seasoned planner or you're just getting started, here are 10 essential elements to include in your planning system to make 2025 your most productive and fulfilling year yet. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Marquita from At Home with Kita, and here I share tips on how to plan a balanced life. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. So today's video is going to be all about the top 10 essential elements that you should be including in your planning system so you can make sure that you have a super productive 2025. So we're going to break things down one by one. I'm going to share with you my top 10. Of course, there are other things you should have in your planning system, but these are non-negotiables. So let's jump right into it. So as always, I'm going to show you within my planning system because I have each and every one of these sections myself. And so I'll show you kind of how that looks for me, and we'll just talk a little bit about why it's important. All right. So first and foremost, everybody should have a yearly overview in their planning system. So I love a good at a glance page because I feel like that's where it starts for me. So this is the top of my system. I'm going to come here and I'm going to dump everything out in terms of what I know that I can go ahead and write in for the whole year if possible. I'm going to just kind of add them where they go. So of course I may not fill out the whole entire month, but I'm just going to pop things here and there based on the date that I know that they're going to happen. So for me, without this page here and to be able to kind of have this sort of view, my planning system wouldn't be as productive as it is. So I have my January planned out already. We're almost into February, so I've added a couple of things here for February that I know are going to happen. And then again, as time goes along and I know in April I have this or in June I have that, then I'm going to go ahead and write those things in there. So start your planning system with a high level view. And so this is going to kind of be your roadmap where you can kind of just jot down important dates and significant events. And so here's why it's important, because having a yearly overview is going to allow you to anticipate busy periods, plan vacations, and align your goals with the calendar. So again, this is going to be your high level view. And so you can include things like family celebrations, work deadlines, annual reviews, travel plans, conferences, key milestones like anniversaries or personal goals. You can also color code it or use stickers to just differentiate between your personal and your profession if you decide to include them here, even family events, just to kind of clarify things even further. So yearly overview or at a glance pages are going to be the first thing that I think every planning system should have. It is so essential, and this is how that looks for me and some of the things that I include in my yearly overview. Next up is going to be your monthly calendar. So it starts here with my overview pages, and then next up is I'm going to transfer those things to my monthly pages. And so that's my high level, and this is somewhat considered a high level as well, but this is just going to break things down even further. So I have my regular monthly calendar here, and then I have this page which I consider somewhat of a monthly overview for Addison's homeschool. So we're not going to focus so much on this, but if this is something that you'll need, this sort of look, even if of course you're not homeschooling your child, but maybe you need this sort of breakdown for work or whatever, consider getting a one-page monthly or a one-page overview with the hourly schedule. This is a great insert for tracking the schedule as well as some important dates. All right, so I have that as well. So I consider all of that my monthly overview. Now, your monthly calendar is going to be where you're going to focus on upcoming tasks, deadlines, and recurring commitments. So you should think of this section like a zoomed in version of your yearly overview. Okay, so this is going to help you because the monthly calendar is going to bridge the gap between your long-term planning and your daily tasks. And it's going to provide that clarity on how your commitments align with your goals. So here are some things that you can include in your monthly planner. Anything from project deadlines to meeting schedules to personal appointments like doctor's visits, any recurring bills, any recurring events. You can also include your bill payments or your subscription renewals. So at the beginning of each month, you review your yearly overview and you're going to add your relevant events to your monthly calendar. Okay, so I add everything from recurring events to nights out to special events, field trips. Sometimes I'll write my bills in here. It just depends on the month, but I tend to just write those types of tasks here. And then my weekly is where I'm going to drill down even further to be able to add super specific tasks. Okay, so again, this is my secondary high level view, and this is just as important as my overview pages. I feel like you can kind of get away with not having the overview, but you can't get away with not having the monthly view here. You need one of the two. You either need that monthly view or you need those overview pages that I showed you, because that again is going to be high level. I feel like for me, all three is what makes me productive. But of course, if you feel like you can just get away with just having a monthly and then your weekly, you can do that. Or if you feel like you can just get away with having your at a glance and your weekly, you can do that as well. But you're going to need one or the other. All right. Next up is going to be your weekly planner, of course. Okay. You got to be able to break down your monthly goals into more manageable weekly tasks. So this section is ideal for tracking appointments, adding any to-do list items, any habits, cleaning schedule. This is going to be where you'll be able to break things down in more detail. Okay. So this works because weekly planning is going to allow you to stay flexible and focused. You're going to be able to review your goals weekly, and then you can adjust any priorities as needed. But you need to be able to see that via some sort of weekly view. All right. So some things that you can include in your weekly view are you're going to be your daily to-dos. I have a section here for my to-do list. Of course, you can write that in on the day that it's going to occur if you happen to know that. For me, my to-do lists don't always have a date assigned to them. So I love being able to just kind of write them there at the top. And then when I'm ready to get those things done, then of course I can do that. You can also put any sort of meeting appointments, reminders, notes, space for tracking habits, which I love to track habits. So these are the habits that I usually track. They don't change from week to week. So I'm able to write them in here. And then the day when I'm achieving that, then I'll be able to check it off. I love seeing it at the end of the week so I could see how well I did with my habits. So we'll talk about that in a little further detail because that's something specific that I have here on the list as well. And you can also track things like exercise, meditation, you can journal. So I love having a little gratitude section here. It's just sky's the limit with exactly how you want to use your weekly layout, but there are some certain key elements that you should definitely be including in your weekly layout just to make you the most productive you can be. And here's a quick tip. You should consider using a layout that combines maybe time blocking with your task list so that way you have maximum productivity. Now for me, I don't really track things by the time of day. I usually like to just put a list of things that I know I need to do during that day. If there's a time associated with it, then I'll just put whatever the time is, but I don't typically use a block schedule layout, but I do recommend that to especially newbie planners because I feel like that's a great way to get started, and then you can always scale back as needed. All right. So you definitely want to have your weekly pages for you to be able to drill down even further and make sure that you are tracking all of the things that you know you need to accomplish on a weekly basis, because some of these things aren't going to be on your monthly section. They're just specific to your week. So that's the importance again of having a weekly layout, because I don't have my cleaning schedule on my monthly. I don't have my theocratic stuff on my monthly. I don't have all of my to-do list items. I don't have my habits there. So this weekly layout just really allows me to be able to break things down even further, and that's really important in being able to maximize your time and be the most productive that you can be. The next thing that you need to have in your planner are goal setting pages. So I have a full section here that is dedicated to all things goal planning. And so this is how that looks for me. I use our life area goals because I love being able to organize my goals by the type of goal that it is. For instance, family and friends, I like to have a few different goals for that. My career and business, my spirituality, my financial goals, health and fitness, my personal development, my fun and hobbies, romance, self-care, and home. So this actually comes pre-filled in with these different life areas or blank so that you can write in your own life area based on what works for you. So you definitely want to have some place where you can write in your goals, because they're really the heart of your planning system. So you want to have dedicated pages to outline all of your personal, your professional, and your financial aspirations. Okay. So here's how you should approach it. You should start with the big picture of your goals, then break them down into maybe quarterly, monthly, or even weekly targets. And this method is going to ensure that you have consistent progress. So you could do something like SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. A lot of people use that sort of method. And then you want to make sure that you are tracking your progress weekly. Okay, you could also do some sort of motivational quotes or affirmations just to kind of pump you up even further. And then you want to make sure that you revisit and you revise your goals regularly, so that way you stay aligned with your evolving priorities. So goal setting pages are super important to have within every planning system. It can be simple, it can be elaborate, and you want to make sure that you are chipping away at these goals. And how you're going to do that is by looking at this section and making sure to pick a few different goals based on, again, when you want to achieve them by, and transferring them into your weekly section so you can make sure you see it, and so that way you can make sure that you are staying on track with all of your goals. So goal setting is super important, must have within every system. Okay, next up is a habit tracker. Now you can have a full section dedicated to habit tracking. I love habits. I feel like they're super important. It just helps you to be consistent with those things, and to be able to track it is what's going to help you to do that. Okay, so I have a section here within my planner, my weekly planner, so that way, again, I have the top habits that I want to track on a weekly basis, and then as I'm tracking them, I just make sure to check them off. And sometimes, again, life's, and I'm not able to come here to check it off. I try to as much as possible, because again, I like to see all of them tracked or checked off, so I could see that I achieved that. I had a great week. I was able to achieve most or all of my habits, and that's just such a great feeling. So add a habit tracker is such a powerful tool to just help to build that consistency and to be able to monitor your progress over time. So you definitely need one, because seeing your habits visually represented is going to motivate you to maintain streaks and identify areas of improvement. So you can track health habits, exercise, water intake, personal growth, reading, learning new skills, productivity habits, like, that you planned on a daily basis. You looked at your planner, you checked in with your planner. You could also use symbols or stickers to make tracking it more fun and visually engaging. So make sure you incorporate a habit tracker somewhere within your planning system, even if it's a half sheet, a sticker, a full page, a little corner of your planner like me. So that way, again, you could build that consistency over time with all of your habits. All right. Next up, number 6 is a finance tracker. We should all have some sort of a financial system or a budgeting system that works for us. So I like to have a dedicated section in my planner. That really helps me to stay on top of my budget and all of my financial goals. So I use our financial wellness workbook. I do need to come in and change some things around for 2025 to kind of refresh some things that are going to be phased out for 2024 and are new for 2025. So I do need to do that. You know that this is essential. I don't really have to tell you that. I think you know that tracking your income, expenses, and savings is going to ensure your financial wellness, and it's going to help you make an informed decision. Okay, so we all know that, right? So you definitely want to have this included in your planner, and you can include things like your monthly budget breakdown, your expense categories for like food, housing, entertainment, your savings goals and progress. And you want to make sure that you're reviewing your financial goals at the end of each month, so you can see where you can save and where you can adjust your spending. So that's why I love this budget workbook. I feel like it has every single thing that you need to be able to track all of those things that I just mentioned, and just to be able to stay on top of your monthly budget, which is so important. You have to have some sort of system to be able to do that. Of course, I love paper planning, so I like having all of that built within my planning system, but feel free to do that digitally. I'm just talking to you about what works for me, and if you're a paper planning girl, it is definitely something that you should have within that system. All right, finances is a yes. must have. So that's number 6. And number 7 is my favorite part of planning. We always talk about that. If you're an OG, you already know what I'm about to say. And that is a meal planning system. Of course, meal planning is going to save time. It's going to reduce food waste, and it's going to help you stick to your dietary goals. So there is a whole system that I have in place that works for us to ensure that I'm cooking and I'm planning meals out appropriately based on what I'm doing in my life. Like right now, I'm on hyperketosis, which means I'm eating a little bit more healthy than usual. And if I didn't come here to plan that out, I don't think that I would be successful with that venture, which, by the way, lost almost 40 pounds. I'm just saying, without this, that would not have happened. Okay. So it's going to help you because planning your meals ahead of time is going to eliminate that daily stress of deciding what to cook, and it's going to help you to avoid last minute takeout. All right. And we all want to save money. We just talked about financial planning, and eating out, of course, doesn't always help in that. Okay. So you can include things like your weekly meal plans, your grocery list, notes for new recipes to try, which is what I have here. You could also use a dedicated app or a printable template to make the process seamless. I like my planner here. Some people prefer the digital method. You could print out, again, a printable from online if you would like. Whatever works for you. I definitely think that you need to have some sort of meal planning system to be able to track your weekly meals, your grocery list, and of course there are other things within this planning or meal planning system that really help me to be able to be successful in my meal planning efforts. So this is a full meal planner. Again, all of this we have available on our shop. I don't use every single thing that we have on our shop because there's just so much there, but I toggle inserts in and out, but this tends to be a staple item for me. This meal planner is awesome. And so I love it. So there's several different moving parts of it. You just use what works for you, but the essentials that you're going to need is a monthly plan, and then you're going to need your weekly planner and your grocery list. So incorporate a meal planner. If you're new to the whole meal planner thing and you've never tried it before, try it out. I'm telling you, it is life-changing, and you'll never go back once you really get the hang of it. All right. Number 8 is some sort of project management system. Now I keep that in my home section. Now it could either be a work project management system, which maybe you'll have in your work section. I work within the house and I track my projects for work, and I also track my projects for home. So this is how our project inserts look. So you could come here, put the overview, the due date, the tasks associated, if it's in progress, if it's done, whether it's a work project or a personal passion. Having a section to manage your project are just going to help you to keep on track with those projects. So it's going to work because it's going to provide that structure and accountability and make sure that you don't lose sight of the larger objectives. So it really is going to help you just break down everything. All right. So you can include project timelines and deadlines, of course. This insert includes all of that: milestones, project check-ins, task lists for each phase of the project, and just make sure you try as much as you can to break down those larger tasks into smaller actionable steps, so that way you avoid feeling overwhelmed. So you have to have somewhere to be able to track your projects, again, whether it's home or business, and you're just going to keep building on this with all of the different various projects that you want to get done. I also feel like everybody should have an inbox section. If it's not a full section, they should at least have some inserts to be able to, again, dump it all out. Life can get messy, and that's where inbox pages come in. So you're going to use them to jot down random thoughts, ideas, or tasks that pop into your head every day. And if you're anything like me, there's a lot. Okay. So sometimes I'll pull my phone out and I'll put it in my phone really quickly. I just have to get it out of my head and onto paper. So these are some sticky notes that we have available in the shop that I love using. I love just using various different things, just depending on how I feel. And then we also have some actual inbox inserts that you can come and jot it all out. So all of these things at once were in my head, and there's no way that I'm going to be able to remember all of this. I have to get it out of my head and onto paper. So I'll come and write it in here, and then I will try every single week to pick a few things, move it off of this inbox list and into my planner. Now, there are some times when there is a date tied to it, so that might need to be transferred into my planner immediately, and I try to write that in. But for the most part, this is just random stuff I need to do that may not necessarily have a time associated with it, okay? So clearing your mind of clutter is going to help you stay focused on your priorities. So here's what you can include: a catch-all space for notes and ideas. So it could just be a blank page where you just kind of write it all in. Doesn't have to be an insert like this. It can be a quick to-do list that doesn't fit into maybe other categories. So it's just a random to-do list. You can also have brainstorming sections where you just kind of sit and you brainstorm all of the things that you need to do. So make sure you set aside time each week so that you review and you organize your inbox pages, because this is important. You got to get it out of your head and onto paper so that you can start to chip away and achieve all of those random things you know you need to do. All right, and lastly, and again, this isn't everything I feel like every planner should have. I'm just trying to do the top 10 for now, and then I'll come back and I'll share with you guys another 10, because I've got a bunch of things that everybody should have in their planner, maybe about 30 or 40 things, even if it's just simple little inserts that you can pop in or elements that you should include in your planning system. So lastly, we're talking about cleaning schedules, okay? Everybody's got to keep their home clean, and a clean home equals a clean mind, okay? And you have to organize this with some sort of cleaning schedule. So here's how that looks for me. You guys know I do zone cleaning, so I like to break things up. That's just how my mind works. And I like to do like tasks in the same cleaning session. And that's just what works for me, okay? So an organized space is going to create a peaceful environment. It's going to make it easy for you to focus on your goals, but you need to be able to map that out, all right? So some things that you can include are daily, weekly, and monthly cleaning tasks. Daily, weekly, and monthly cleaning tasks. Okay, here's how that kind of looks for me. And then also rotating deep cleaning schedules. You could also have some sort of notes for seasonal tasks like decluttering. So make sure you assign specific tasks to different days of the week so that you avoid overwhelm. So that's what you can see here. All right. And that's just how my brain works and what works best for me. So I just kind of keep this popped in my planner for reference. I already know what I need to do on a daily basis, but I like having it here to serve as a reminder. And then as things change, of course, I will revamp that based on my current needs. All right. So that's my top 10, y'all. Your planning system is a personal toolkit that should help you navigate the year ahead. So by incorporating these 10 elements, you're going to set yourself up for a balanced, productive, and fulfilling 2025. And that's what we want. So take the time to customize your system to fit your unique needs. And remember, it's not just about staying organized, it's about creating a life you love. So which of these elements are you going to include in your 2025 planning system? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, because I want you to make this year the most successful yet. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I really appreciate you stopping by my channel. I will try to link as much as I talked about today below, so that way you can grab some things that you feel may help. So I hope that you found this video inspiring, which means you'll give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you will subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and if you are new, welcome. Hopefully you'll stick around for a long time, and I hope that you will also come back and catch another video, in which case I'll see you guys then.